Well, first of all, tell us your name, your title, and your company name.
I'm Christophe Beck, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Ecolab.
And tell me a little bit about Ecolab. What do you guys do?
Ecolab is a great place. It's a very cool company. It's a growth company doing fascinating things because when you think about it, we have a huge impact on the people, on the planet, on the communities. We are everywhere you live and go, ultimately. We protect the food that you eat, the beverages that you drink, the restaurants you love that hopefully you're going to get back to very quickly, the favorite hotels that you have. And if things really turn bad for you, we protect hospitals as well. So from infections that you could get as well, and vaccines as well, so that have been produced and that we're all enjoying kind of. So lately as well, we've been part of that. So at the end of the day, we have a great team of 44,000 people around the world that's trying to make the world a cleaner, safer, and healthier place.
You truly are everywhere. When I was traveling just last week, very carefully traveling, I did in California. I mean, I see your name everywhere. So you're not just here in Minnesota, you are truly everywhere.
We are in 172 countries. We're trying to be everywhere we can, where it's legal to be as well around the world. And we've been doing that for 98 years. So a hell of a journey.
Christophe, you've recently taken the role of CEO, but you've been an executive at Ecolab for 14 years. Why is Ecolab a great place to work?
It's a great place to work because it's a very special place that it's impacting people's life in very unique ways. Our purpose is to protect people and the natural resources that are so vital to everyone's life. So to be close to everyone, making sure that you stay healthy, that your families stay healthy, that wherever you go around the world, you're protected, is something very special. And when we think as well about the resources as well, like water, like energy, or the waste that's being created, well, we help prevent waste being created. We protect the natural resources as well. So we're really a company that's very close to people's life, to the environment, to our future, and really making sure that we can live as a community, as enterprises as well, in a way that is really symbiotic with the environment. And this is what's helped us as well grow as a company and will keep us growing in the future too.
Sure. In the last year, I'm sure that purpose has been even more prevalent with everything that's been going on in the world. Tell me a little bit more about how you see that in everyday work.
You know, last year especially was a year that we didn't plan for. Nobody planned for COVID-19. Obviously, most people didn't even know what it would be as such. And it's really been a year where we knew we were living history. And we knew it would be hard. Living history is never an easy thing to do. But we as a team generally basically said, well, this is an Ecolab moment. This is time where we need to shine. This is time where we need to help shape history, being close to people, being close to restaurants, to hotels, to hospitals, really making sure that we could prevent the spread of this infection as much as we could. And when we think our company even more broadly, the best way to think about Ecolab is to think about its impact. When you think about what we've helped save last year, we've helped all our customers around the world, which are roughly 3 million, by the way, to save enough water for the drinking needs of 710 million people. On our path towards saving enough water for 1 billion people as well. We've helped serve food, safe food for over 1.3 billion people. And last year especially, well, we've helped sanitize 66 billion hands, which was pretty handy, to say the least. So we're not going to stop here. This is a point in time for us, and we want to go much further as the world needs us more than ever today.
I mentioned I was in California, and you hear a lot about water savings in California, and even, you know, like our playground, Las Vegas, there are issues with getting water. There's the social responsibility part of saving water, but what about the economics of saving water? How do you help businesses save money?
Water is vital to life. So there's a life component to it. There's an economic component to it. There's nothing without water. There's no life without water. And the interesting thing is also no one is against clean water. We have people against everything around us. So today can be solar panels. They do great things, but okay, you don't want to have them. So in your yard as well as such. And when you think about water, so 70% of the earth is covered by water, but it's a very thin part. If you compare the earth to an apple, well, the ocean's depth would be less than a seventh of the skin of that apple. So it's almost nothing as such. And 96% of the water we have around us is salted water. And if you bring all together, all the lake and the rivers, so the water that we can drink, ultimately, it would be a bubble that has a diameter of 35 miles on top of us. That's it. That's all we have, ultimately. So when you think that there's 1 billion people that do not have access to clean water to live, ultimately, well, we need to find ways to reuse that water like nature has done for a million years. Unfortunately, human beings think differently. We take water, we process water, we dump it. Well, we need to reuse it, to recycle it. And that's what we do as a company. It's to keep that bubble of 35 miles and ultimately help companies reuse it as many times as they can. And the good news, to come to your question on economics, the more you recycle and reuse water, the more you reuse and recycle energy as well at the same time, because it's usually hot water, it's cold water, you need to transport it as well, and you save like that CO2. Well, this is helping the economics of companies as well at the same time.
You know, when you talk about the first part of that, I think of the word sustainable. That's really become a big buzzword in the last 10, 15 years, something like that. And a lot of your work is helping businesses become more sustainable in other ways. Why is that so critical to the purpose of Ecolab?
I'll start with the bigger picture. We are, as a world, losing the war on climate, unfortunately, if we don't change anything. When you just look at a few facts, the trend of temperature, we all say we should remain within 1 to 2 degrees increase over the next 80 years at the end of the century, ultimately. We're on a trend of 3 to 5 degrees, and we see that every day, everywhere around the world, so how crazy weather is changing as well. So it's not evolving. When you think about water as well, today, the world as a whole is using almost as much water as nature can replenish. By 2030, we will need 56% more water than what nature can replenish. It's not going to work because water is not going to come from outer space, obviously, as such. So we need to find ways to do more with less. And for us, it's at the core of everything we do. The promise for our customers is to help them produce more products, better products, with less natural resources. And to your point before, well, it's helping them as well reduce their cost, which is a good deal. So it's good for nature and it's good for customers as well. So that's what we're trying to do. And ultimately, as a growth company, the really cool thing about our model is the more we save, the more people we protect, the faster we grow, the more money we make, the more we can invest in the future and help protect more people and save more resources. That's why sustainability is so important to us and core to our future.
We're in year 2021 now. Tell me about an initiative that is a high priority for Ecolab this year.
We have many, obviously, as a global company, but if I had to name only one, I would talk about Ecolab Science Certified, which is something we did not have in our plans a year plus ago. When COVID-19 started in our country in March of last year, many of our customers in the restaurants and hotel industry really got scared. They didn't know what it was, COVID-19. So we had to train everyone, explain what it is, how to deal with it, how to protect the guests from hotels and restaurants from infections, obviously as such. And we came pretty quickly to that conclusion that we needed to find a program, a seal that people, guests like you and I going to a restaurant would see and feel more at ease. It's a place which has been as protected as it can be. That's how the idea of Ecolab Science Certified came to life, where we bring all the capabilities of the company, serving hundreds of thousands of restaurants and hotels in the country, providing a visible sign for guests when they enter a restaurant or a hotel to say, this is an Ecolab location. This is a place that's going to be safe for me and for my family. And we've made a lot of media support as well on that people understand. So what is it? How does it work? And ultimately, I can go to those places. And what's really interesting, I'm in touch with many from the community here in the Twin Cities, especially the sports club, the Vikings, the Twins, the Wild, and we are really helping them. So for the reopening of the normal season, which is all going to be Ecolab Science certified, making sure that fans, players, and staff ultimately can enjoy the games in a way which is as safe as it can be. So this is one of the initiatives that's inspiring me the most in the company today.
Ecolab has, you 44,000 associates, I think I saw.
Yeah.
How many of those are in the Twin Cities?
We have roughly 3,000 great people in the Twin Cities. Some are at our head office, downtown St. Paul. Some are at our R&D center in Egan. It's an unbelievable team because it's 3,000 people that are part of the heart of the company ultimately here. That's where, we observe the world, where we develop the future, where we develop the new solution. So it's really a special place. And when I think about the Ecolab team, it's our company, but ultimately it's broader. It's including the University of Minnesota, with whom we're working very closely, many local, smaller companies as well, which for us are part of our team as well. So if you count it that way, well, it's many more people that are on the Ecolab mission.
Sure. And you're a global company, but why have you called Minnesota home for so long?
We call Minnesota home because it's where everything started in 1923. And it was even called differently. Some people are calling this company still EL, the old name, which was Economics Laboratory, which was the whole invention back then in 1923 of a traveling salesman who came up with a way to ultimately clean carpets in hotels in a way that you could do it so quickly that you could reuse the room very quickly, so you didn't have to wait the whole night that it dries up. So you could keep running your hotel. You needed less water, less energy, less labor. And that was the whole idea of Economics Laboratory, which 100 years later is the concept of sustainability. That's where it all started. And when I think about our culture, we are a very people, social focused company. This is Minnesota. This is who we are in here, and that's what you feel wherever you feel or you meet Ecolab around the world. So Minnesota is more than just our history and our culture. At the same time, it's our future, because that's where we develop all the future solutions that are going to help the world get better as well in the years to come.
You're really passionate about supporting the communities where your employees live and work. How about some examples of Ecolab teams giving back to the community?
We firmly believe that our company, our team can only be a healthy team if we're living in a healthy community. And ultimately, we are part of the community. We're not a separate organization as such. All our people, I live here, I'm part of this community. So what happens in this community, good or less good, as we've experienced over the last 12 to 18 months, well, impacts us and is important to us as well. So, we're trying to be focused on the topics where we can make a true difference. And one is water. Obviously, we are the source of the Mississippi, as we all know. We've spent a lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of scientific expertise as well in order to clean up the headwaters of the Mississippi River as well, which is helping us get clean water in the Twin Cities ultimately. And the second, it's really so people focus with the social justice challenges, to say the least, that we've gone through over the recent past, but can be even further than that. We've really decided to be even more involved in that community. So We're part of the Minnesota Business Coalition for Racial Equity. That's one way. So for us to help, but be close as well. So to supporting the police development, to be close to the cities in St. Paul or in Minneapolis as well. We have our thousands of people who are doing community work every day as well, where they can. So with their church, with their families, with their community group, whoever. So for us, it's core. We are the community at the very end of the day as a business and as a team. And that's why this region is so important for us.
Some of the things you've talked about are going a little bit over my head. I mean, they sound really interesting, but if I want to find out more and learn more about the work of Ecolab, where can I find that out?
Well, the best it's to visit our website for sure. It's to call us, it's to come and visit us. And if you're really interested in the mission of protecting people and the resources vital to life, I think you should truly join our team.
Perfect. Christophe Beck from Ecolab, appreciate your time today, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Adam.